Sana, Cody. Setting up my studio here. Hope everyone's all right. I'm just setting up. Gonna start at 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So, hope everyone's well. Thanks for tuning in. We're gonna have an interesting show today. Let me see. Just gonna wait a little bit, get some people on there. Little sound check. Just wanna if anyone has a rattle that you want to use later, we're gonna use some rattle songs honoring the ancestors. My rattle here. If anybody has a rattle, you can get it. Right. So, gonna check sign here. Got 2 more minutes till showtime. If anyone's seeing this in the future, just go down until I start. Just gonna see here, just make sure. Just a little disclaimer, if you belong to any particular political party here in the United States of America, it doesn't matter. I welcome all people. We're all humans at the end of the day. And the whole key thing is for us to all get along. And make sure we don't hurt anyone. Just gonna do a little sound check. All right, little sound check here. We're gonna start soon. If anyone has a rattle, you can get it. We're gonna go right here. It's the tool of the Bejique, the rattle. And anyone who wants to keep rhythm in the song, we'll do a little sound check. Oh, I got one person on. Sound check. Can anyone hear me? Can anyone hear me? Can anyone? 1, 2, 3. We're going to start in 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'd like to thank all you future watchers out there of the Taino Fun House show. Thank you for joining this live in the future, and all those who will be with me tonight for the next half hour. You could write comments, and sorry it's not, I can't hear your comments, but an announcement this week of have a weekly Zooms. Very, very interesting. I'm losing connection left and right. I don't know what it is. I'm right next to my modem, and I keep losing connection. But so let's get straight to it. All those who are watching in the future, I'm at move to the 5-minute mark. 5-minute mark. We're about to start. In today's topic, I want to introduce you all to something that's red hot. It's so hot and spicy that it's turning people upside down. It's causing rifts in families and friendships, and that is all the political arena, what's going on here in the United States of America, Turtle Island. So I'm going to throw my hat into the arena, and I'm going to root myself, center myself in the ancient ways of the indigenous Caribbean ancestors, aka the Taino. I'm gonna root myself whenever you're in problem, whenever you have a problem, whenever there's turmoil, whenever there's, I don't know, there's a lot of turbulence here. I don't know, there's a lot of turbulence here in my channel right now. And I'm right next to my right. Let me check my connection real fast. Getting a lot of problems here. Check my connection real fast. Getting a lot of problems here. Hold on a second. There's something. Okay, so I'm back. I don't know if anyone, if you lost reception, but I'm having a hard time with my Wi-Fi here, and I'm right next to my modem. So anyone who's seen this in the future, now we're at 7 minute mark, 7 minute mark, and I'm just so sorry. Let's get right to it. So as we know, here in the United States of America, Turtle Island is a lot of turmoil among all the different cultures and all the ethnicities going on. Red, blue, Republican, Democrat, Independent, Socialist, whatever political arena you live in, it's all right. You're all welcome here tonight in the Taino Fun House. I'm not going to attack anyone, but I'm going to center myself in the tradition, which is Indigenous Caribbean, Indígena, Caribeño, Taino. That's where I center myself when there's a lot of turmoil and when there's a lot of issues going on in my life. And I just want to suggest that to everyone who's Taino, or if you're not a Taino, and if you belong to a religious or a spiritual circle, always important to root yourself in your tradition. Now, in a Taino way, we honor the ancestors, right? We honor the spirit world. And just like just like jumping into a canoe is going to bring us to the Creator, which is Atabe, our mother, and her son, Yokahuba Wamanakoti. So what I'm going to do is, right now, according to the title of this show, there is an attack on indigenous Caribbean values or morality. Whenever there's turmoil in society, what's first tested is our values. What do we believe in? So I'm going to share with you right up to the point of 1492. One of the things the Spanish invasion gave us, people in the diaspora, in the islands, the descendants of the great Taino people, the ancient ones, is that they wrote a lot of notes. Many of it was lies, but some of it was truths, and it's up to you to decipher that. So I decipher a little bit, and I went into the journal of Christopher Columbus, and these are some of the quotes that Christopher Columbus said about our ancestors, the Taino. One of the things he said was, these people are a good people. They are very free from wickedness and unwarlike. This is straight from his journal. You can look it up if you want to debunk this. He also said that our ancestors had the softest and gentlest voices. He even said the language sounded very beautiful. The best language he ever heard in his existence. It's in his journal. He also said that our ancestors were very friendly. The friendliness overwhelmed him. Their nature was welcoming. Their human nature in the Caribbean was welcoming. They were always willing to share with him and the Spanish invaders. So there's that spirit of unwillingness to give what they had. And also, love for neighbors as themselves. This is in his journal. I challenge you to look it up. Love for neighbors as themselves. So, the Taino people, la buena gente, los caribeños indígenas, era una gente buena. Y esas son las palabras de Cristóbal Colón. So, the first value that I want to share with you tonight is a value that's being challenged right now in the American society, and that is peacefulness. As a Taino person, indigenous person overall, our sense of being at peace is crucial for us. It's very important for us. It's right on the top of the list to search for that peace, buscando la paz en nuestra vida. Eso es la meta de todo indígena, buscar la paz. And the peace is not just for us, the peace is also for others. So we're always striving for that peace of heart and peace in our society. Also, point number two of ethics and morality and values is hospitality. And this still exists in the Caribbean. You even see it on the ads um, when they talk about, traveling into the Dominican Republic, traveling to Borinquen, whatever. They always talk about the people are hospitable. So this is our second value that still exists to this day, is the whole sense of hospitality. So one is peacefulness, two is hospitality. And right now in the United States, those two things are fire. One is there is definitely not so much peace for people who are ill, who might be losing their Medicaid coverage, and so on, who may be losing their SNAP programs, who might be losing their jobs, who lost their jobs to layoffs. So peace is very hard to get now. And also hospitality. Whew, a lot of people are being shut out. A lot of people are being shut out. And that's not hospitable. So as an indigenous Caribeño, it's very important for me and for you, if you consider yourself indigenous, Caribeño, or indigenous in general, or human in general, hospitality, to welcome. And thank God this still exists in the Caribbean. Point number three, value number three, that the Spanish invaders witnessed in their own eyes, is that our ancestors had love for their neighbors. Love for neighbor. And that's the whole part of tribalism, which is against capitalism. With capitalism, it's about personal wealth, right? Or wealth for your inner circle, your own family, compared to indigenous wealth, which is love for neighbor. And that's also being attacked right now in the United States. So one is peace, hospitality, and love for your neighbor. And like again, Columbus mentioned that, you know, they're very friendly and very welcoming and willingness to share with others. Okay, so point number four, or value number four, is love for community. This is one thing the Spanish learned really quickly, is that the Taino people, the Caribbean indigenous people, were very unified, were very centered in a collective welfare, okay, where everyone was taken care of. Everyone worked together to make sure the welfare of everyone was taken care of. And that's what you call love for your community. And that's being challenged right now in the United States of America, especially when you see people in the streets homeless. Very, very difficult. Today I was on the bus, and this older gentleman came in the bus, smelling very, very horrible. And I remember this one Dominican woman got up from her seat, and she shared some of her compras, some of her groceries with this older man. And it didn't matter for her if he was smelly, whatever. She saw a need, and her love for community, her love for neighbor, she gave some of her food to him, and he was grateful. He's very grateful. So that taught me a lesson. Again, a woman stepping up, an elder saying, "Wow, you don't look too happy. You look very ill. I'm gonna give you some food." That's the spirit right there. That's a value. So we got peace, hospitality, love for your neighbor, love for your community, and number five. And this is where a lot of indigenous peoples, nations, they talk about this often, about that, where it's rooted into intergenerational trauma, and that is our relationship with the earth, what in present day we call the environment. There was a harmony that was, back in the day, it was honored. That whole sense of being in harmony with the earth mother. Okay, we are her children. Itimaka hubaba atabe. We're her children. So there's an environmental harmony that's so much lacking right now in the United States of America. And just look at the policies. The policies are really not being kept, which is a problem. So, and a lot of these policies have been reversed. There's no environmental protection for our rivers and the land and so on. And at this time, I like to give some prayers to those who survived this horrible flooding in Texas, and I like to honor the dead, especially the children who died in these floods. And again, this environmental disaster, climate disaster, climate crash, it's all around us, and it's causing people to lose their lives. So it's very important, more than ever, and our ancestors knew this, is to be one with nature, the environment, have a harmony. And this is one thing that destroyed us as a people during the invasion of 1492. It's being stripped away. That harmony was stripped away. Point number 6, or value number 6, sustainability. Respect for the land as mother, honor her, keep her alive and well for the future generations. It's not just about me, it's not about my family, it's about us. So this is where you talk about keeping the earth sustainable for the future. And that's not really happening right now. This whole sense of sustainability is it's in shambles. It's in shambles. So we need to respect the land as mother. Number 7 is 10 altogether. Number 7 is respect for the ancestors. Respect for those spirits that have gone on before us and who are still alive. If you're a Taino Caribeño, that whole honor, that whole sense, that mindset, that the ancestors are not far away. They walk with us. In our terminology as Taino, we mention about the power of the semi, the power of ceremonies, the power of music, the power of dance, the power of the storytelling, the power of believing in a spirit, knowing there's a spiritual world not far from us, and also honoring the heritage that we have been handed, that's been handed down from generation, thousands of years, as far down as the Orinoco River, Central America, North America, Mexico, everywhere, all in these beautiful islands we call the Caribbean. So, one example of honoring the heritage of our culture is the airito. When we put it all together through music, through dance, through storytelling, that was beautiful. And it still is when I see people, different communities in airito, it's very beautiful. Point number 8 is 10 altogether. Social order. Our ancestors were very hard at work in maintaining a structure, a societal structure, an order, what many people call hierarchy, with responsibility. So it just wasn't a cacique saying this is what you need to do, like a king, and you do it for me. No, everyone had a role. The cacique's role was to make sure everyone knew their role and everyone was practicing their role. So he made sure everyone was taken care of. Because if no one's working the farms, people are not going to eat. Who's going to make these beautiful semis? Interpretation of the Behique. There was an order. There was the cacique, there was the nitainos, which are the sub chiefs, and then you have the Behiques, the spiritual people. And it was all about governing people in a positive way. There was a sense of welfare for the people. Daily work was respected. It was honorable to work because you help others. There were constant feasts surrounded or centered on the different holidays which would follow the weather, the solstices, the equinoxes, and so on. And also to maintain the resources. So you just don't consume, but you also need to save in case there's a hurricane or huracanes will come and destroy. You always was prepared. So this whole sense of consuming, consumption is not about greed, but it's about sharing. And this right now is hurting us right now in the United States of America because the social order is being flipped around. Where the social welfare of the people, it really is not being, that's not the focus right now. People are losing their entitlements. And I know I hear a lot of people saying, well, why do we have entitlements anyway? Well, we have entitlement because not everyone is wealthy. Not everyone had that opportunity of education or got that break. And yes, you hear this all the time in TV and in schools even, if you work hard, study hard, you will make it. And for many people they have, but for 98% are dependent on either resources or that salary or whatever. So, and it can be taken away just like that. Man, it's really difficult. Let me go to value number 9. Okay, remember there's 10 altogether. Value number 9. Our ancestral ways, our Taino ways, it was centered in a matrilineal society. Okay, we had a social order that was centered in a matrilineal society. So property and social status was connected directly, was passed down to the female line. It's very important to understand because we don't get this now. Everything's through the male line. And for many religions, even God is male. It's not female anymore, which is all right. I mean, I don't want to go there, but as an indigenous Taino, this whole matrilineal line is so crucial in understanding social order. So women had power and influence back in the ancient ways. Power and influence. So there was that balance. So much needed right now. And there you go. Value number 10. The value of recreation and the value of the arts. And basically the value of having fun. And this is what the whole Taino Fun House is all about. Especially value number 10. There were different rites and rituals centered on land, agriculture, marriages, rites of passages. That was all honor and beautiful. What a beautiful value that was. The Batu game, these were sporting games that were also spiritual. Okay, so instead of me taking an axe and blowing your brains open, whatever. No, let's play this game. And there's stories that the Spanish will write about, married women against virgins and men against women or rivals, different yucayekes will compete. Again, celebrating the value of recreation. Also, music. The Spanish also wrote about the mayahuacan, the drum. They mention about the maraca. They mention about the guiro, especially the guiro. It helped with time, music time in these arretos. And also poetry. To this day, you hear the elders up in the mountains there. When someone dies, they're reciting this beautiful poetry. Again, it hasn't been lost. These values are still with us right now. So, also, all these beautiful semis, these sacred beings, museums love them. They're worth a lot of money because during 900 up to 1492, second to none. Compare the art all throughout the world. Compare it that time period. Our ancestors were, no one can say they were savages or they were slow in their art. Nah, man. They took it to the next level. And that's beautiful. Again, the value of taking the time and creating art, which is right now worth thousands and thousands of dollars, especially in the black market, or I should say in the crooked market. I'm sorry. So that's the 10 values that right now we can surely use here in the United States of America, aka Turtle Island. You know? And no one is illegal on stolen land, both in Borinquen, Quisqueya, United States of America. So let me share the 10 values one more time really fast. The first one is our ancestors had this understanding of being at peace with self and other and God. Hospitality, always welcoming. According to Columbus, we had a welcoming nature. Also, love for neighbor, love for the community. Number 5, environmental harmony, or earth as mom. Sustainability, we're not just going to consume for the sake of consumption. We're going to respect the land for the future generations. Number 7, respect for the ancestors or the spirits. And this is where we create ceremonies, we create songs, we honor. Number 8, we do believe in a social order that everyone care of. Is a social welfare. The women, social status is connected to the mother. Why not give the women that privilege and that power to maintain this balance between power and influence? And number 10, value for having fun. Fun. This is what a Taino Fun House is all about. Is having fun. Value of recreation and the arts. So I thank all of you for checking in, and I'd like to thank you for all you future watchers in the future. Thank you for watching. Leave a comment. If you have a question, I'll get back to you. And also, yeah, man, just be nice to yourself, be nice to your neighbor, and especially be nice to those that might make you very angry during this political climate. There's a lot of stuff going on. It's easy to be angry. Angry, it's all right. It's natural. But let's not stay there. Let's not get stuck. As Taino, as indigenous, let's go back to our values. And I'm going to post the values in the description. Hey, man, hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't yet. And I'll see you soon. But before I go, I promise you I was going to do a little song. And this song was written by Edwin Cedeno, the late Edwin Cedeno. And since we're talking about these values, why not talk about Atavi, our creator? We're her son, Yokahu. Atabe la wa vivi wa vivi. Atabe la wa vivi wa wa. Atabe la wa vivi wa vivi. Atabe la wa suimako. Atabiragwa suimako. All right, see you all soon. Peace out.